Hello everyone, and welcome back to the last video of the journey. Now I know what you're thinking. Last video? Well, not last in terms of videos for the channel. Just last for lessons, or things I can tell you, or that you'll be taught in classes if you take classes. So, the last 2-3 days, I watched all my videos, and I'm sorry for you guys that had to watch them. And I went through everything that I missed and cross-referenced my notes that I took from class to see if anything I can add. And I got through, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 pages plus some side notes here and there. There's a lot in this video. I'm telling you this now. There is going to be a lot, and I'm going to try to do this quickly. This will be everything and anything I may or may not have missed. I have ill-informed, or hold on, let me get this out. That I've misinformed, ill-informed, missed in general, or just something that was overlooked or explained wrong, and I'm going to properly explain it now here. So, without further ado, I'm going to break this down video by video, and I will be putting for you folks to make it easier. Say something you like, oh, in this video you did this, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to break that down into the little chapters you can do on PubeTube. So, there. Some other changes. The orientation of the camera. My door used to be here, and the wall used to be there. Turns out I had, on OBS, I had the camera panel mirrored. I was like, oh, shit. It's been like that forever. This is how my booth actually looks. Doors on the right, walls on the left. One other thing. This is nothing notable. Again, I'm wasting time. What else is new? My library games increased. I went a little crazy on the Steam sale, but it was really good, worth it. Some of these games I've already played, like Resident Evil 5, Lego Jurassic Park. Why? Because they're fun for me. I grew up playing that crappy game, and I ended up liking it. Lego Jurassic Park. I love Jurassic Park. It's one of my favorite movie series. And Lego games I always liked when I was a kid, and then when I grew up playing it, I think a couple years ago on the Xbox, I was like, this game's awesome. And for $6 on the PC, why not? Okay, without further ado, let's get into it. Video 1, Part 1, which was the consideration of doing thing. Video 1, Part 1 was consideration of getting into voice acting. I stand by that. Everything I say and do is thing. Dynamic. Sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. Part 2. Everything else that we covered in voice acting. What you need, booth setup, equipment, DAWs, resources, blah, 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 blah. There is nothing innately about that video, but I'm going to touch some stuff. I'm going to touch base with some stuff, or just briefly talk over. I'm going to open my door because it's really hot in here, and I'm going to be really fast. So, first thing, microphones. We talked about microphones. There's 3 things I want to talk about in regards to microphones. 1, there's 3 types of microphones. I already forgot the third. There's 3 types of microphones. There's your dynamic mic here. This is a dynamic microphone. This is a dynamic microphone. They use it for concerts, people talking in venues, auditoriums, speeches. Then you got, where are you? You got this one right here. So that's your dynamic microphone. That right there is your condenser. That's what I have. That is what is most widely used for voiceover work. Why? Because this is, like I said, it's mainly for performance use. This is more for getting in-depth for like when you're trying to do a character or just general talking. It's better for it because it picks up the little nuances you can do with your voices. Not only that, it picks up its ability to pick up noise. Very handy dandy nifty whifty. Then you got your third microphone. Shotgun mic. That looks like this. That's a shotgun microphone. So here, this is perfect. So right here, that's the microphone. That's what you speak into. These are mainly used for promos, demos, and you can also probably see them occasionally on podcasts. They also have this thing right here. The plosive protector, or it's called a sock, goes over to protect it from other outside ambient noise. All of these, as far as I know, are XLR. You can get USB because that's, with the modernization. Go away, Steam. Where the frig is Steam? And that's it for the types of microphones. Now, there's something I've completely forgotten was when you have a cough, a sneeze, to clear your throat, never go directly in your microphone for multiple reasons. Why? Distortion. 2, damaging. 3, it's your own equipment, or if you're in a studio, it's not your own equipment, and you have to obviously maintain it or keep, respect the equipment, because if it's not yours. So always turn away, go down, or into your arm away from the microphone. That's for etiquette, mannerisms, and maintaining your equipment or someone else's equipment. There's a third part I was going to touch about, and I forgot, unless that was it, but still. Next thing I want to talk about, I've mentioned this before a lot, cold reading. Cold reading is when you are given something, you are given a script on the day of your audition. On the day of, let's say you got a job, you're playing character, we don't have a name because we're expediency. You're just given, video games. Video game scripts, you are not given days in advance. You will be not lucky, but it is uncommon for you. It's not rare, but it's uncommon that you get one a day or 2 or 3 or a week in advance. Usually video game scripts, they give them to you first day of recording, and you gotta somehow, get that feeling on the first read, hence cold reading. I do this for auditions. I've been doing this from the start, and I'm getting better at it, and it's a good skill you must learn, or you should learn, not must. I would say must. You should learn, but it is a must. It is a key essential thing getting started. On top of that, so is improv. Improv is a very important skill set to learn in acting. So that's what cold reading is. It's a good skill set to have. It's a good way to just let you adapt to anything. Being able to think on your feet and going right into a scene right away. It helps you. It helps the customer or client. It helps directors. It helps the sake of projects or scopes of work you're doing that are maybe time sensitive. Next up, studio etiquette. This is something I didn't include, but maybe I should, because maybe you'll be faster or better at me than this. Everyone's journey is different. So, studio etiquette obviously is good etiquette. Well, it's just bringing good etiquette you bring in your normal day life and bringing it to work. That includes being respectful and treating everyone in the building or at that facility, the studio we'll call it, with human dignity and respect that they deserve. Not that they have to gain or earn. They deserve, okay? They're people like you doing something. You never know. From what I've heard in my first classes with Steve Bloom, he says sometimes the secretary there that will sign you in for your session of the day, they're an aspiring voice actor or an actor or a screenwriter. You don't know what their life is. Maybe the custodian there is also there. Maybe he's just there because he got offered that opportunity and he can work his way up. You never know. That's part 1 of etiquette. Treating everyone and anyone in that facility, whether it's your fellow voice actors, your directors, audio engineers, your secretaries, your security guards, the custodians, it doesn't matter. Treat them with respect. Just because their job title seems lower doesn't mean they are lower. They are still a human being, okay? Part 2 goes on with, is a little bit of an add-on from the mic etiquette, is when you go into a studio, that's usually the audio engineer's equipment. That's theirs. Or it could be the studio's, but, technically the audio engineer is the person that tinkers with it all the time. Like I said, do not cough into it. Do not cough, do not scream, do not distort, do not touch the microphone. They will set it up in a way they think is best for you. Get their permission saying, hey, do you mind if I just lower this ever so slightly? And if they say yes, sure, okay, do it. Your own equipment, in your own booth at your own house, do whatever you want to do. But remember, obviously, be careful. This is expensive stuff. And etiquette as well, clean up after yourself. Arrive on time. If you're late for any reason, just call in advance saying, hey, I'm stuck in traffic. Looks like there was a car accident just a block ahead of me. I'm going to be maybe 10, 15 minutes late. And they say, okay, no worry, we can push it back for you. Or if there's an emergency, I think I broke my leg. I can't come in. I'm going to the hospital right now. They're like, oh my God. All right, no worries. We'll see what we can do. Obviously, you can still work with a broken leg, but that's obviously after you've been checked, cleared, and discharged by a doctor. And if there's a family emergency, I'm pretty sure they will not question. They'll say, oh my God, go, 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 go. Family comes first. So that's studio etiquette. And that's the end of video 1. That was 5 minutes already. I'm sorry. Video 2, which the video was, what is voice acting? This should have been either at the very start or at the very, this should have been at the very end of consideration, or this should have been the very first video. Because I've said so many times, there's many misconceptions that I falsely believed about voice acting or acting in general. And I was like, wow, it's actually not that big of a scary monster. So do your research. Watch my videos. You don't watch my videos because they're long. I completely understand. I'm not going to be bothered. Go watch someone else's videos. There's a sea of opportunity out there to just teach you anything in 30 seconds. Well, not 30, in a couple minutes or less. Other things. This is now more, again, nitty-gritty stuff I'm getting into. Taking direction. I mentioned this, I think, in my last few videos. I kept saying direction. I mentioned this in my one video where I was talking about my own characters and I was showing you about writing self-direction for myself. Giving yourself self-direction is good. Because you are telling yourself, I know what I want, I'm not hitting it, or this is the bar I need to jump or get past or surpass. And not only that is it good for you, personal growth and practice and training, it's also good for a director. You want to be easy. Your job, remember, as a voice actor, you're that last piece in the puzzle to complete the grand scope of a beautiful picture. And I just did that in the mic. Whatever. So if you can take direction well, it's not just like they're going to be like, you there, monkey boy, go over there and get my coffee. No. They're like, all right, we need you to deliver this line like you are reeling from like heartache and like you just can't cope, but you still go on somehow. You just find that little ounce of will that just keeps you going for some reason. And if you can nail that in the first try or not, if you can, great, but you're still going to take multiple takes. But if you can't, that's okay. But just remember to listen to your director. Don't get frustrated with them. Don't let them get frustrated with you. Be easy to work with. Because remember, word of mouth in this industry is big. It is how a lot of what an actor can and can't do. Well, that's very daunting. It will play a big factor whether you're easy to work with or you're easily to direct. Obviously, excuse me. Obviously, when you're starting out, you're going to be a little, like, confused, lost, and I'm pretty sure most veteran or trained or seasoned directors out there, they will know. They will know. They're people just like you. They were put in positions just like you. Some directors were voice actors before, but they moved up because they maybe like, I don't want to voice act, but I do like directing or I like casting or like producing. So you never know if you pepper pose, my friend says. That has nothing to do with that. Next thing. Negotiating. This is something I wanted to talk about in a video, but I have zero negotiation skills. I felt like I shouldn't teach or I shouldn't tell you or inform you in ways of negotiation when I have no skill set of my own of negotiating. So, like me, do your own research, and that goes hand in hand with the next one. But I'm going to touch base a little more on that, is do your own research for negotiating. Look at tactics, decisions, business models that they've done for negotiating. And remember, don't compromise if you think it's not right or if it's not safe. And don't compromise if you feel like you're being taken advantage of or it's unfair. Remember, in a good negotiation, everyone walks out happy or feeling good about the decision they made. Now, going back to research, yes, doing your research for negotiations is, pivotal in this. You need to negotiate, fair wages, fair pays, work balance, workload. And on top of that, when you are given a part sometime, or if you're given an audition and you get the part of, let's say, Saladar, he's the king of salamanders, and you're like, okay, what is there source material? Let's say, he's in a comic book. All right, let's read about Saladar. oh, he came from humble beginnings, but then tragic backstory. You got to do your research. You're not going to be told that at all, period. It's up to you to learn, to grasp, and to be able to pull from the source material and bring it to life. And then from there, it's all up to how the audience likes it. But if you follow the source material and you feel in your gut you did a good job, you're doing good, my friends. Next, this is now more when you're getting into performing and doing a role. And that is, don't be afraid to get physical. When you're mad, or you're gonna play a character that's big and burly, or you're doing a scene where your guy's eating food and they talk with a mouthful of food, don't be afraid to like hold your cheeks up, or you're being crushed against the wall and be like, hey man, it hurts. Or you're being hooked, like, you know how in animation, like, people will pull the cheek or the ear and they go, yes, no, I understand, I'll go. Don't be afraid to do that. And that's with like gimmicky stuff. But when you're really getting into like a character, like you're mad, don't be afraid to like make that scowl, that face, that grr angry. When you're sad, if you cry, don't be afraid to cry. That means you're giving an evocative performance. Something real deep inside you has come out to give an authentic visual or spectacle or performance. That's good. There's been many actors I heard that have cried in the booth. I'm not naming any because, well, out of sake of maybe if they're embarrassed or not. If they're not, kudos to you. And to be honest, there's too many. Hold on. There we go. All right, that's the end of video 2. Video 3, I don't remember the name because I forgot. Oh! This one was warm-ups and cooldowns. Okay. I want to reiterate this thing I've said. Any journey you're on will be a long one. Patience and persistence plays a big key. Just be relaxed, play it cool, play the system, or as my teacher in my second class, Joe Zija, always said, slow is steady is something. Slow is steady is good, or something like that. And just trust the process. Find the rhythm of it and learn it. Don't fight it. Don't go against it. You're going to just make that journey more, far longer, more arduous, more tediously long, and you may get frustrated and give up. Don't do that. Trust the system. If you're stubborn like me, you find it hard with change. I'm trying to just, grasp that as best as I can. Next, just to finish on that, one of the things I heard is a quote from Lao Tzu, and I've said it so many times. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. I don't need to touch more on that. Just start walking, keep going. If you're going every day, if it's for 20 minutes at least, or if you're doing for 3 hours or more, just make sure you're always doing something, because that is, as long as you got consistency, you're good. All right. We're going to start with this one. There was a point before it, but I'm going to talk about this. Finding your voice. I said that in your first thing ever was, whenever you're recording, it's a rude awakening when you hear yourself recording, because you always thought yourself as something a little different. Whether you thought your voice was deeper, or you thought your voice was more like smooth or not, or you were slick with it, or you weren't as sarcastic as you thought. That's me. I didn't know until someone I used to work with at my old job saying, "Are you always sarcastic?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "You sound very sarcastic when you speak." And I was like, "I do?" And then I asked my friends, and they all said, "Yeah, you are very sarcastic when you speak." I'm like, "Oh, fudge." That was a glass-shattering reality for me. I was like, "Oh, wow. I didn't know that." Do I hear it in my recordings? Sometimes, not all the time. But then again, because I'm reading something, I'm not openly talking. So, finding your own voice, your pacing, your phrasing, the music of your voice, and your inflection. Your inflection is, if you know inflection, it's the delivery in which you are saying or speaking. So are you, like me, sarcastic? That was my inflection, was very sarcastic. No, I'm doing this. Something I do notice that now. Ever since that, at the time I was like, yo, screw you. But now I'm kind of grateful for that. So find your own voice. As my first class said, finding your authentic neutral. What your voice sounds like. No goof, no gaff, no raising, no lowering, no speeding, no slowing. It's your normal speaking voice. So now I want to talk about certain things. This goes to vocal health, and that is screaming and projecting. Do not scream. If a scene calls for you screaming, keep screaming to as little as possible. Same thing goes with projecting. Projecting is more like when you're obviously shouting to like a room, or you're shouting to someone like down the hall, like, "Hey Bob, what is on the menu?" Screaming is obviously, "Ah!" Obviously, you want to keep that to a minimum. It could be very damaging. And that's why they want to keep it to a minimum. Remember what I brought up in, I think it was my vocal health video. Liam O'Brien, a very talented voice actor, voice of Gaara from Naruto. He did the game, he voiced Asura in Asura's Wrath. In the intro, he had a 17-second long scream where he just elevated every time of just pure rage and pain. And apparently, it was so bad for him that he passed out in the booth, and I think he coughed up blood. There's another actor. There's plenty other actors that have had something similar to that experience. Let's see what else. Cooldowns. Well, I don't know why I'm talking about cooldowns. Cooldowns is just, you just relax. You just find yourself to like, zen, meditate, hum to yourself, whistle. What I do is, I've said it before, I've taken walks around my block. In the summer and spring and fall, when it's not too cold or chilly, I just go around, headphones on, not too loud, and just not anything too like, like bumping. I just go around and go, I feel better. All right. And this is the last thing for this video. This is what I learned from Troy Baker, who is Joel from, Joel from Last of Us. And, I saw this video and I didn't think about it until I started doing it, realizing it more when I was coming home when I was starting recording, was if you're on your way to a session and you haven't warmed up properly for your thing, or you're kind of like short on time, sing whatever it is you want. The more the mix of songs, if you go from rap to pop to rock to soul, if you mix it up, the better, because you can get your throat warmed up so much better. I do this in my truck sometimes. When I'm in a good mood and I'm delivering packages downtown, I go, la, 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 la. Or as you saw from my horrible video of me singing like an idiot to no music. So sing, my friends. And that's the end of video 3. Video 4, imposter syndrome, perfectionism, rejection, burnout, and breaks. I thought I wrote breathing. Okay, I said this, I stated this, and I think in my recent videos, is timing is the most, if not, is one of the most, or is the most important factor in this industry. Some casting directors will listen. Hold on. So that always will go hand in hand. Timing is a factor. I don't know why I wrote this. This should have been for another video. But this, I'll say it now, is when you are auditioning, sometimes certain casting directors, or even just jobs on Voice123 or Voices.com, they may be short for time, or there may be a lot of applicants, and they want to make a selection fast. So you may get some casting directors. I heard from Sam Riegel in the webinar I did, and I showed you a long time ago on Resources video, was he says he likes to listen to all of them, because don't worry about I'll touch base on that. But other people hiring for voices or casting directors, they'll listen the first 3 to 5 seconds because they have so much to do and they have so little time. Don't take it personal. It's not you. It's time. Something they are racing against. Now, to continue where I was going to ramble on was, I heard this from, I think it was Amelie at a convention, and she brought it up many times, I was brought up many times afterwards, or I remember hearing it in my classes, or I remembered it from my classes, was just because you didn't get the part sometimes doesn't mean, doesn't mean you weren't, interesting or the director or casting person wasn't interested in you. Sometimes they'll keep your audition and be like, wow, that person was really good. I liked it. but I think I'm gonna go with option B for now. But let's bookmark this gentleman or this lady. They were really good. I like them. And then let's say 1 month, 3 months, a year later, I've heard actors getting jobs from an audition they did a year ago, and they're like, what? Okay, sure. And there's that. The idea is you want to live rent-free in the mind of a casting director. You want to do a short performance that is so explosively awesome that, you just hook their attention like that. Going on that. I already said this, physically getting into character. Don't be afraid ever. Even if you're on camera, if you don't like to be on camera, turn off the camera. Just get into that character, get into that mood, get into what is being asked. Overacting or underacting. If you are overacting, you will hear it, but not only will they hear it, or not only will you hear it or know it, so will everyone else. So if you know it, they know it. Overacting, obviously, is when you play something a little too much. You're being asked to just goofily go over there and say, "Hey there, Bob, what's for dinner?" And you go, "Hey, Bob, what's for dinner?" That's obviously way, way, way over the top. Just like going, "Hey there, Bob, what's for dinner?" I just did it again. Obviously, underacting is, from what I can, this is just a personal the description being, or definition is, what you're doing, you're just intentionally doing it bad. Or maybe you don't know and you're just, again, underperforming. That's all. And last one. This is a good mindset. This is what I heard from my first set of class that was carried into my second class. That is something I forget but always am reminded of. And that is, have this mindset. You don't have to do it. You get to do it. Okay? You don't have to do this. You get to do this because, well, you want to do this. This is the opportunity being given to you. Don't squander it. Don't waste it. Don't go, I'm very guilty of doing that. I'm starting to pick up my lazy ass and say, "Come on, bitch, let's go." And that's it for video 4. What did that have to do with imposter syndrome, perfection, and rejection, burnout, and breaks? You know what? I don't even know, but I went through the video, and I'm pretty sure my video covered that. So if you want to watch it, watch. You don't, I'm not here to push or judge or urge you. Next one, hurdles. All right. I said this before. There was something I heard was, if you practice 18 minutes a day on your craft, your hobby, your skills, or whatever it is you're trying to do to make yourself, I think it's 90% above everyone else in the world. And I said, screw 18, do 20 minutes every day. Just make it a nice even number, even though 18 is a pretty even number. And, well, my throat is really dry. But do 18 minutes a day. It doesn't matter, again, it doesn't matter if you're just practicing one character or if you're doing auditions for a day. Say you had a long day at work. Just remember to do that 20 minutes. Discipline yourself to say at least 20 minutes a day. Let's do it. Come on. Go. I talked about this before. I was told, not in my first class, my second class, against Fiverr. Nothing against the website. It's good. Okay? But if you're trying to make it as a voice actor, don't do it because it's kind of hostile in its own way because anyone and everyone can do it. Kind of like Voice 123, but Voice 123 has guidelines and rules that clients and voice actors have to follow. Not only that, 1, it comes across as desperate, and that's 2, and 3, how desperate? Oh, you're just scratching just for anything at this point instead of people actually trying to find you qualified work. And 3rd, when you are trying to get an agent, when you're trying to get jobs, when people are looking at when casting directors and agents are going to be looking at your testimonials, they'll see Fiverr and be like, "That's not credible. What do you want me to do about it? That's not credible. I can't take your work for that. You did what? A voiceover for someone's YouTube video? That's not credible." That's why I know Fiverr. I said this in the last topic. Keep going. Love and trust the process. Persistence and patience is a pivotal element in this endeavor. Just like any endeavor. I'm not just going to say this one only. This one we're doing right here? This one only? That's the only one. No. In any endeavor ever. And last one. The 80-20 rule. 80% of your work, revenue, income, whatever, will come from 20% of your clients. Maintain good relationships with those clients. Maintain a professional relationship. A good, trusting relationship, one that you will always be there, or you'll be there to deliver what they want of you. Should they ask of you, saying, "Hey, we got another gig for you. Would you be interested?" If you're busy, say sorry. Maybe next time. If you're available, yes, please. Jeez Louise! All right, I got some side notes here. This one will be at the very end of the video. This one I heard from my first class, and I've been hearing it a lot from my second class too, was you may think that my videos, the classes I bring up that you may take or may not take, this is the one and only way you can build your voice acting career. It is not. It is not. You can build your own career any way you want. You want to start on YouTube as someone who does Let's Play games? Go for it. You want to start on career like YouTube like me and just talk about voice acting, do skits and blitz and gloffs and goofs? Go for it. Brandon Rogers, if you know him, he did all those funny skits. He did the one with the trauma bitch. Now he's a voice on that show Hell of a Boss. What's his face? I can't remember his name now. Pro ZD or VD. He's the voice of Ratatasker in God of War Ragnarok, as well as one of the Vault Hunters in Borderlands 3. You know him for his goofy little skits where he plays characters with his funny little makeup costumes he does. And he wanted to do voice acting. He got into it. Did YouTube help? He said no, but hey, man, I trust his word, not mine. And just follow your own path. Look at that. We're already on now the next page. And guess what? Video 7, vocal health. Well, everything I wanted to talk about, I already talked about in the video and in the past things. We're done. We're going on to video number 8, reading exercises. I don't know why I put this. This is kind of ridiculous. In my video, this is when I read from the cookbook. I mentioned, I missed the part where I said, have I ever mentioned I loved eggs? Good. Well, I meant to mention I love eggs. I eat them every day. They're my favorite food. I don't care. There's that. When reading, I've said this before, I'll say it again, try to get into character. Doesn't matter what character. You want to be like Jamie Oliver from the cookbook that I read? Go for it. You want to be you want to be Snake from Metal Gear? Good. You want to be Allegra Clark or in Akron in Honkai Star Rail? Go for it. I'm not here to stop you. Remember to get into character if you're trying to read it. That's that video. Video number 9, improv and ad-libbing. I stated this earlier. Improv is one of the big boys of skills or skill sets to learn, and you should always be able to not always put it in your work, but don't be afraid to test the waters. Don't be afraid to, go out there and be like, with it. That was the horriblest example ever. It is very thing. Another thing, whenever you're recording or you're getting ready to record, always do a test recording. I've showed you my weird improv crap that I do. Here, I'll just do it right now. Elements, density, vocal print. Yeah, like all of these I've showed you. I'm not going to actually physically open the file because, I'm trying to save time. I'm already at 35 minutes, so my bad. So, always just do a test recording. Make sure your audio interface is working, your microphone is working, your DAW is set up and working, all good. And then, when you're ready, if you want to practice a little with a character or a snippet there, go for it. Until you're doing a real audition recording, just do a little bit of a test. I do a test every single time. Oh, also, this is something I do sometimes. I always forget to switch from my other sound to the interface, and then I'll be recording, and then it doesn't work, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? I'm like, I didn't switch it. And then you have to switch, close your DAW, and reopen it. All right, next. Oh, in this video, I was talking over my recordings. I do apologize. I don't know why I wrote that. Okay, this goes along with the end of the last topic we talked on. The last topic of the first page of the topic is just go with the flow. Again, trust the process, regardless of how foolish, outlandish anything is. Just go with the flow when it comes to reading, especially when it comes to improving. Just let things flow. Let them go naturally. Don't be afraid to just let your brain noodle off and say, damn, that T-Rex over there's got a cowboy hat. But that Brontosaurus over there, he's got a holster and spurs on his boots. He's kind of cool. And then from there, you're probably thinking, how do we go from there? What comes to your mind? Well, that Triceratops over there has got a saddle on his back. Maybe he'll let us ride his back and take us for a tour around the Jurassic Park. I've been watching a lot of Jurassic Park lately, my bad. Okay, that's it for video 9. Number 10, which was more ad-libbing improv, is don't be afraid to really perform. And what do I mean by that? If you got to be serious, get serious. If you got to be angry, find that pit of despair that you've been holding your anger back and open the doors and let hell let loose. Go for it. If you want to be a goof, just be a fucking idiot for all I care. That's what I do. You see what I do? I shouldn't be swearing. Look at me. I'm an idiot and I'm just swearing. Excuse me. If you got to get physical, do this. Do this. If you gotta do this like the jaws for an orc character, don't be afraid to do it. If you gotta talk like this, don't be like this. If you're a short guy like that, don't be afraid to hut your thing like that. Don't be afraid to do this stuff. Yes, it's annoying. Yes, you look stupid, but is that the character? If it is, great. You're doing a great job. That's it. Video number 12, resources. One very key thing I forgot to mention in this. I mentioned GVAA, the voiceover guide website. Jeez Louise. And a plethora of other things. There was one very big guy in this that helps voice actors. And they do their own galas, their own performances, their own activities, their own supports, and all that stuff. It's called NAVA. Let me show you. The National Association of Voice Actors. Here. Action and inclusion, education, benefits. They will show you. They will help you. Look, they have their own plethora of resources. Memberships. You want to be a member? Go for it. This is AI. And don't forget, NAVA is very, in regards to the strike video, NAVA is with us, the voice actors, against the strike. Yes, they will show their AI, but not for the voice, not for voiceover. They're doing it to just, better help their customers. And that's it for that video. Okay, now, the next video, or we're going to be talking notes upon, is video 13, characters. Before I get started, this is something very, very, very important, very imperative that you need to know. This is called the BS me. BS me. What does that mean? When you're reading a script, every word, every character, every line is important. Don't just go and read it being like, let me pull up my character sheet. Don't just think like, okay, here's Dante. Don't be like, okay, this is not my line. This is my line, but this is not mine. This is not mine. Oh, but this is mine. Don't be like, I don't need to know this. I don't need to know this. Oh, but I do need to know this. You need to know, as my teacher said in for my second classes, context is another key thing in regards to reading a script. You need to know how you're going to deliver your line. Is your character saying what? Like are they just like saying what? Or are they saying what? Are they what? Are they mad? Are they sad? Are they confused? Are they lost? Or are they just, so dumbfounded by the idiocy of, me, and they go, what? So Do not do the BS, 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 me, BS, BS, BS. No, everything in a script needs to be read, even if it's not your part. Remember, just because you're that piece, someone else is playing that piece. You need to know what to do, what to deliver. I was bad at this in the beginning. Am I still bad at it now? Yes, but I'm getting better. When I'm reading auditions now, I'm not just reading what I'm expected. I'm reading what is the before, and what's coming after. I need to know what's going to happen. Okay. Characters. That was part of it. Use real world stuff. I mentioned this in another video. Can't remember which one. Use real world references. One day you stubbed your toe and you were in pain, and then that pain hadn't subsided. Now you're just in excruciating, annoyingly pain. Use that for a character you got to play that's like similar to that. You gotta play a grouchy old cooch from up the street. Oh, wow, my neighbor Franklin Russell's over there. He's such a grouchy. Use that. Remember what I said that in my classes that I was taught was throughout your day, just notice things here and out. Just like, what made me feel this way and why? What made that person act that way? Why is this person upset? Why is this person sad? Why is this person happy? Just use real world stuff. Okay, with your own work, it is okay to critique your own work, but also give yourself credit. You are not perfect. Especially even seasoned and veteran actors out there, I bet you they do this too. Where they will talk about, they'll critique them, but I didn't do that well. But you know what? I still like this part. Or be sure to not be really hard on yourself, because that's where that imposter syndrome starts to set in, and that spiraling depression begins and goes, and that's it. You're done for the day or week. Or in this case, what I said, throw yourself a bone. And then, I'm not going to talk about this because it was already brought up, self-direction. It's important to give yourself self-direction. This is something I heard from my first class, not my both. Do not tie a dialect to a character. So, I have a crippling problem with that, where I will be like, when I showed you Old Man the Piston Tree, he's now got a southern drawl and he's pissed. I could do that normal, because my first few recordings was normal, but it didn't feel authentic enough. It didn't feel like it was getting my point across. And that's when I added the southern drawl. Now I can't do it without. Same thing with Silly Villain. I'm so used to that now. See here, voice. So don't tie it. Just try to be more open-minded. Don't attach it and be like, that's it. That's set for life. No more. What else we got? Regardless if a job or a script is bad, still do it. If you feel like something is just like a work can be bad, and sometimes it can be. I'm not saying all work is going to be crappy, because, there's some works that people have put their many, many hours, days, weeks, years into their work, and it's awesome. But always strive to do a good job. From this video of the characters I showed you, that really needlessly long video of characters I showed you, a lot of my characters are very different from one another, and that's a good thing. I'm not trying to toot my own horn here. It's good to give yourself characters that are completely different from the last. You want to be able to have that skill set, that mindset, to just be able to go from this scene, I'm a ruthless tyrant that's a goof, to I'm this man who's just so repulsed with my inability to die. I'm just so disgusted. Like you have the ruthlessness that you want from like the tyrant character, but he's not goofy, he's serious. It's always good to not blindside, but to give yourself that curveball to keep yourself on the toes. When you're doing multiple characters in one scene, tread very carefully, or in any piece of work. I've tried this. It's very hard, because sometimes I can't multitask to save my life. I've said this many times, and when I try this, it's just, oh my god, I lose the voice, I lose the character in my own head, and it's just like, it sucks. Oh, in one of my things, you probably were deafened by me screaming. One of my character scripts was called Problem. I mentioned this before in my DAWs video called Clipping. And that is when... Here, I can bring it up. I don't want to bring it up. It's the time waster. So when you're recording... clipping is... I'm not going to actually record because I don't want to deafen you folks. Is when you are recording... Let's just do this. When this bar goes beyond the up and down. And all you're going to get on your playback is... That is unusable... broken garbage. You cannot use it. It's trash. No matter how much you compress or lower the volume, it was recorded at that deafening loud decibel level. That's how it's going to stay permanently. And one other thing. In my character near the end, I talked about was a reluctant hero. Was I broke the fourth wall. Don't be afraid to do that with your characters. You're probably wondering where is when I said in a future episode part. You're like, huh? And I'll just, for you folks, I'm going to just keep this open for future. Go all the way to the bottom, all the way to the bottom. Here. Should you come back in a future episode mission adventure? I was picturing this as like, it was like a animation or anime. So like, imagine, he should have said this last, like, so should you come back in a future mission, adventure, or whatever, or a future episode, or whatever future installment. That's breaking the fourth wall in a way. Meaning, you come back in another episode in this series, focus camera. I'm going to do much worse to you. I'm going to kick your butt. Don't be afraid to break the fourth wall. It should the need to arise. Don't just be like, I'm going to break the fourth wall just because. No, if it fits, it goes. And one side note right here. This is more for just us as people, individuals. I'm a very private person. I value my privacy very much. And I'm sure you do too. And so does all these other voice actors. Be careful what you post online. Be careful with what... Jesus, my throat is gone. Be careful with what you post online. Be careful with with everything and everything you share. Because... well, the internet is there, and once it's on there, you can't get it. You can't get it off. It's like when you put a permanent marker on something, and you can't do anything with it. So yeah, there is a few websites. I think one was called Delete Me. It's like every 30 days it will delete your presence online. Not like your online presence, but like anything. I don't even know. I can't remember. It was in my class for like 2 seconds. All right, next page. Wow, some of these are busy. All right, video 14, brainstorming characters and creation. For building characters or a story. Ready? Start simple, baby step it, make it basic, and then build. That's it. Don't think about every little thing all at once. Then you're going to overwhelm yourself, and you're going to be backed into a corner, and you're going to be scared, and you're not going to know what you're going to do. Make it basic, simple, easy for you to create and continue the story, but also make it easy for readers, watchers, and to enjoy and to get invested into. That's it. Video 15, character creation. For me, character creation is as basic as it gets. Think of your most basic tropes. Think of a character you like in a TV show or a movie. Think of like Iron Man. He's a witty, sarcastic smartass because he's rich, smug, and he knows what he's doing. Okay, let's make a character similar like that. He's not rich, he's not sophisticated, he doesn't have the technology, the money, whatever. Just make sure maybe he's a deadbeat drug dealer. And again, start small, build up. Just like when you're building a world in a movie, like your own writing. Jesus, I can't breathe. Just when you're building, start small, start basic, start smooth. My character in my book, Axel, he was a guy who tormented. Why is he tormented? A demon. Pretty big, right? But pretty basic. I took tropes from friggin' anime. And then from there, what goes on? Well, he was also a former gang leader. He did a big no-no, destroying almost the world, almost taking over the world. But then something happened. And that's it for character creation. 2 little notes. Just remember, these go hand in hand. Start simple, start easy, start basic, and just build, build, build. All right, video 16, DAWs. Okay, so I'm going to open my DAW. So, shut up, dogs. Okay, one thing that you should know is I forgot to mention in my DAWs video is this. This is your microphone recording level, and that is your volume playback level. This little knob right here, you can set it now, it won't stop the bar from obviously exceeding that, but it's going to show you, like, the optimal level you're trying to get. So in this case, oh, no, it does stop it. Sorry if I deafened you guys. So it's like, okay, and then when you hit the playback, that probably deafened you again there, my bad. Because my volume for this is kind of loud, and I don't know why. It's very obnoxious. Go away. Yeah, so don't be afraid. You can use that to adjust your levels, to help fix your levels. And also, this is what I do for jobs sometimes, is they'll say, oh, we don't want anything higher than -6. Make sure when you're recording your playback, it doesn't go higher than -6. So right there, you can set the bar. Okay, right there. But default's always at 100. Cancel. Go here. What else? I mentioned this a lot. Don't bother if you have learned, like, let's say you start with your DAW at Audacity, and you spent, let's say, like a week watching videos, learning about the ins and outs. You practice with it with another week, and then about a month or 2 in, you're like, okay, I played with it, I had my fun with it. Let's now go to Reaper. Let's go to Reaper and use it. And don't do that. When you are accustomed to your DAW, stick with it. Should you in the future have to switch up DAWs, make sure it's for the right reason. Don't just do it because I'm bored of Audacity. It's not doing what I want it to do. It's like, is it recording your levels? Is it editing everything you're wanting? Yeah, it is. Why are you wasting your time now switching DAWs? Also, you have to relearn something, and it can be frustrating and time-consuming. Just stick with what you've learned. All right, this is another apology. Sorry for the loud feedback. I already said that in my video. It was deafening loud. That's probably me deafening loud here. Again, I do apologize. Noise floor and noise ceiling. That is whenever you are... That right there is noise floor. I don't know why. Oh, because the dogs were walking upstairs. Noise floor right here. If you're at -60, that means that is pure silence. That is good. That's what you want. My door's shut. Is it any better? Yes, it is. It goes to almost where I need it to be. It's excellent. So you optimally want -60 if you can. If it's a little higher, don't worry about it. You can fix it with some tinkering, editing. You'd open the door before I sweat my balls off. Volume readings, I already talked about. I already did that. Be mindful. This is something I forgot to mention, of minor little things that your mic will pick up, especially if you're close enough. My mic, like I said, remember this method with microphones. That's the one thing I forgot. The distance between microphones. The pinky from the guard or the mesh screen to your lip. This is a little much. My mic's usually right about here. Whenever I'm recording, I can still read off my screen from scripts and auditions. And then I'll get stuff like, or plosives. That's a plosive. That's the point of this guy right here. Pop filter. Pop filters are meant for guarding your plosives, which are those P noises, those B noises, those plosive noises that you make. Get out of the way. I have to readjust that later. Just be mindful. You'll hear them, you'll see them, you'll know them. One thing it's very yucky to hear in your own recording. Get up. And obviously you can fix it with your own editing tools in your DAW. One thing I heard is you can batch your stuff together. I don't do it because, I didn't properly learn it. I tried to once, and for the sake of one job, and then I just completely neglected it. It is easier. It is better. And I heard from my second class, slowest, smoothest, steady. That's what my teacher always said. But it's good for, that. It makes you be able to, to batch it is you record all your jobs at once, send them all at once, you're done for the day. Me, what I do is I go one at a time. Does it save on time? I'm just accustomed to doing my way. That's a good thing, though. If you have a comfortable way of doing your own thing, don't be afraid to do it. But if you are getting busy and you think batching will help, by all means, do it. That's it for DAWs. Next up, contracts, video 17. The first thing you'll ever do if you are going to a recording session in a studio, set of papers will be in your room waiting for you, from what I heard. Those are your contracts. Read them fully. This is the first thing you will do before recording or anything. Obviously, you'll talk to the members that will be helping you, the director, the casting director, maybe the producer, the audio engineers. The secretary will say, hey, you're Billy Bob Thornton. Can you please sign in? Oh, yeah, sure, no problem. But you come in, and your first thing before you even start recording, you're in that booth, your contract. Read it fully, understand it fully. If you comply with it, or you understand it, or you agree with it, sign, you give it to the director or whoever's in there, and they, fax it to whoever, wherever it needs to go. Use me, Jesus. All right, one thing in my video I have to fix. This is a thing I misinterpreted for you folks. Rate does not equal budget. Rate is a fixed rate which you should be being paid. I've showed you many times the GVAA rate guide plus the voices.com that provides publicly for anyone and everyone about rates versus, though, a job's budget. If a job says, if it's an online ad 13 weeks, which the standard rate from voices.com says 300 to something, but I usually go for the lowest, which is 300, because, I'm just starting out. I don't want to, skim these folks. I want to make sure I do a good job, and I'm going to, do it to that model. Sorry, I just saw something funny. And I said in the video was budget is rate or something. I didn't say it directly, but I was, in the way I was delivering my wording and thing, I was essentially showing it that, or giving off that idea. And it's not. Rate is rate and budget is a budget. They are separate. Rate is what is expected to pay for the specified type of work that is being done. Budget is how much a client can afford to pay for the work. Now, this will be the end of contracts. This last little note is, I've said this before, and I cannot emphasize or stress the importance of this. A violation of an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, is career suicide. Forgive me for using those words, because apparently that gets censored heavily on YouTube. Or it will actually end your career. If you violate the NDA and you have spoken out loud when you weren't supposed to, when you did not get clear consent to say, yes, you can openly speak about this, you will actually probably end your career. I'm sorry to scare you. It scares me too. But it could happen. Just be extra, extra, extra careful. And that's the end of contracts. No side notes for this page. And the only side note for this page is a weird doodle I did. Can't see because of the light. All right. Video 18, networking and looking out for others. Word of mouth, I've said this before, goes around fast in this industry. It is probably the biggest thing they use in this industry. Okay, that's that. And then this is another correction I have to make. I said don't not do it. I meant to say do not do it, okay? That's it. You're probably wondering what, where, who, huh? I said that in the video. I just want to say do not do it. Don't not do it is not what I meant to say. Because don't not do is contradicting what I'm trying to say. Video 19, Goals and Aspirations. This is kind of more self, but there are some things I obviously want to share to you guys that I learned that where I may have made a mistake. So it goes like this. This is something I saw online the other day was, a goal without a deadline is a fantasy. A goal with a deadline is an objective. A goal with a deadline and a plan is intention. A goal with a deadline, plan, and consistent action is a success. A personally meaningful goal with a deadline and a plan plus consistent action is fulfillment. You want to feel fulfilled? Have a personal, meaningful goal. That's why I stated my goals to you guys. These are personal, meaning goals. I don't think I'm going to hit my number one goal, which is fine. But my other goal, my other goals, you know what? They can outshadow that one. At least I had something I wanted to work towards to push me to be as in this manner. Jesus Christ, we're at 1 hour. Next thing. You need goals because you need a destination. Like I said, if you have a goal without a deadline or a destination, it's just a fantasy. I've daydreamed so many different things, so many different times. I'm tired of the fantasy. I want reality to come. I want my dreams to come to reality. Period. And I'm sure you folks want to too. So let's get up. Let's dust ourselves off. Let's get to work every single day. Whew, okay, what else? Oh, there is one other thing. When I mentioned I think it was my third goal or my second goal, that I want to meet a bunch of voice actors, I want to extend that to, I want to meet directors, casting directors, producers, screenwriters, audio engineers. I want to meet everyone and everyone. I want to meet studio people. I want to meet all the folks out there. They're cool. They're awesome. I want to know what piece they play in this awesome scope and project. My throat is so dry. And that's it for goals. Next one, video 20. We're almost there. 10 more left. We're going to run through these. Technical difficulties. Talk about mic equipment care. I already specified that. No coughing directly into it. Don't bang it. Don't hit it. Don't do anything. You know what happened to me. One thing that I remember learning when I was going through my own technical difficulties, whenever you're done with the day, but you're still using your computer, but you're not using your audio interface, turn it off. Save the power. Don't burn it out. I did that for like a month or a couple months, and I may have shortened the lifespan of this maybe ever so slightly, but still. Hold on. Water. Throat dry. I'm going to leave the cap off. I hope I don't spill. Another thing for you guys, this is me personally. No food in my booth, only water. You should do the same. Yeah. And obviously don't rip and pull your cord. That's another care. Especially when you're in a studio, I've said this before, equipment is not yours. Treat it with the utmost respect. Okay? And one more thing for this video. I urge you to get a warranty if offered. Why? It saved my butt. Alright. Video 21. Booth setup. All I need to say is there's a video I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to put it in the mention below. Where is YouTube? Switch accounts. Playlist. No, not my videos. I don't care about my videos. I don't have any videos on this channel. There's this video right here.
How to connect.
I'm going to put this in the description below. He helped me set up my booth. Him and a couple more of these, like this gentleman right here as well. I may share that too. This one I didn't really watch, and I should have. My bad. Sorry, Bill D. Wees. But this one I kept coming back to the most. No, what the... Go away. All right. And that's it for that video. Oh, video 23, probably my worst video ever. AI. I did a very brief video after I did my video about briefly talking about the strike. I mentioned about a lot of good and bad things with AI. I just want to talk about something that is negative towards AI in regards to AI. It's a big thing in the education industry or sector. GPT. What the fuck is it? It's negative. It affects education. I don't know why I have to put this out here. And also, I need to apologize for the shit show that was that video. That was very just horrible. I do apologize for that, folks. Thank God no one watched it but me. Alright, this might not be the end. Okay. Next video, SAG-AFTRA. There's one thing. This entire video was very important. I think for the most part I did an okay job, just to get you guys, surface level knowledge. But with this, there's one thing I need to fix. And that was, I brought up a form called a Taft-Hartley form. I thought that was for something not working for the union, or you're unionized but not getting the comprehensive benefits. I can't remember what I said in the video. There is a correction towards a Taft-Hartley form is the exact opposite of that, in being the sense that if you are a non-union job, or if you are a non-union actor and you were selected, you were casted for a role in a union job, the production team has to get the approval of the SAG-AFTRA Guild, saying that you, let's say you, Matthew Faber, has the Guild's approval of working on a union job as a non-union actor. That's all that is. I said opposite. I said it lets you work without needing something along the lines. And I was like, uh-oh, that's not good. Luckily, I rewatched and I relearned my video. Thank God. I learned from my own notes. Okay. This one is big. This is auditions, auditioning, and scripts. The audition, ready? This is the first thing, very important. The audition is the job. You take this more seriously than the job itself. Because if you go up and showing up like a friggin' half-assed goof like I do sometimes, which is not good, you're obviously showing that you don't care. Don't do that. Show that you care, you're serious, you're professional. If you don't get the job, that's the way the cookie crumbles. This is something I completely missed, and I thank God when I was cross-referencing my notes, I got this. Don't get focused on the specs. When I talk about in the video about the specs of the job, saying, oh, it's believable, conversational, guy, serious goof, don't get too focused on that. Stick to basics, okay? Stick to what you know. It will help you, and then obviously, here's something, this is personal. Being shortlisted on casting websites, you will be shortlisted, meaning that the client liked your audition. They're going to put you on a short list, hence the name or the word shortlisted, and that means in the future, when they go back, after they're listening to everyone, they may go back to you and like the 3 other people they shortlisted. And they'll be like, okay, between Matthew, Bill, Tina, and Stephanie, I liked Matthew. Let's go with Matthew. There you go. Now, just keep in mind, shortlisted, it's a great way to motivate you. I remember in the first 2 weeks I got shortlisted, I was like, wow, I'm actually good at this. And it kept happening and happening. Now I've been shortlisted like 10 times on both websites in, 3-4 months? That's pretty good. And I've only gotten 3 jobs. That's the way the cookie crumbles. That's sorry. That's okay. Just don't get hung up on being shortlisted. You want to aim to win, to get the job. You want it. Don't be complacent with, I got shortlisted, yeah. No, be like, oh, I got shortlisted. That's how I view it now is, yes, it's a good thing, but I don't take it as a good thing because it's like, I'm not aiming for being, yeah, cool, I liked you, versus I'm aiming for, I want the job, please, I want the job, but I didn't get it because maybe I got to do better, that's all. Okay. Auditions will or may reveal if it's worth passing on. What I mean is sometimes you'll see an audition and be like, you just get that feeling like this is not worth it. If it's not worth your time, screw the money. If it's not worth your time, don't do it. Time is more important than money in this, period. This is where you have to ask, and this goes hand in hand with this one. Ask yourself if the job is worth it. Remember, do your due diligence. Play it smart. Now, reading a script closely or between the lines is a very key skill. Get a feel for what the client is looking for. Remember, rent-free in the head of the client or the casting director. This is another thing. I do this now a lot. Reading out loud. When we are reading in our heads, we're not actually reading. We are scanning. That's a scientific, not scientific, that's a medical fact, or that's a scientific fact, or a psychological fact. We do not read. We scan. Our brains can just put it together like that. But we're not reading. And when we have to put it to practice or to use, that's why we get the fumbles, the mumbles, the stumbles, or the ums, the uhs, the ers. Read it out loud. Like I said, I've said this. Context is one of the most up there likes with timing. improv, and everything else. It's a weapon you can use. Also remember, who is your audience? Is this a promo for Viagra? So people who suffer from ED or older folks that just want to have some fun. Is this for kids? Are you selling monster trucks, Hot Wheels, Barbies? My voice is scratched. Okay, I think I mentioned this before. Slating. What is slating? When you're recording, you just briefly say your name and you go, Matthew Faber. And then you have a thing, it's 2 to 3 seconds of silence, then you start doing your audition. Don't always slate. It's actually asked or recommended you don't slate. Why? The sake of time. The lengths of your the scripts may take so for many takes if it's a short one, but if it's a long script, 1 take. Why? For ease of comfort. You want if you get in that mood, that mindset, that woohoo, let's keep her going. All right. Remember, there's no such thing as a perfect take. I have to get this out of my perfectionistic brain that I hate. Is your names. Hold on, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'm gonna pause this. All right, we're back. Okay, sorry about that. I had the bathroom emergency. All right, next thing. File names are important. I learned that the hard way. When I was first applying, I was literally just copying and pasting the job title plus the job number and then sending it. Now what I do, I learned this from a job I got, was I would put the job title. If the job title was a little ambiguous, then I would obviously settle it on something. So if it was like for a product saying, Dave, the Motorola sprinkler system, and then I'd put the Motorola sprinkler system _ my name, Matthew Faber, and hopefully that helps the clients find you better, or it's just more organized. Because remember, you're trying to help these guys, keep their things down. That's another key thing. Do what you can on your side before sending everything to make it easier for casting directors to find you, to make it easy for them, for you. This is something that I've been starting to do now, is yes, there's a lot of these rules and regulations and boundaries and guidelines in this industry, but what I learned from my second class is learn the rules and then learn them and understand them, then learn to break them, but only when you start to understand. In that sense, he goes on to saying, allow yourself permission to make strong decisions or choices. That case is, should you not do this job despite the pay being good? You're free up on time. It could be great for your career, but like maybe there's something in your personal life that's going on. Do the right thing, obviously. That actually made no sense to this. Yes. Okay. Ready? And I'm gonna finish this video. Not this video. This topic video, the auditions and scripts one, with this note before we move on, being yes, all this goes with the rules and regulations I just said. Yes, this is all a lot. It can be very daunting, very frightening, very frustrating even. But if you just practice, if you take your time, if you take it slow, go at your own pace. If you can keep up with the speed, the pacing of it, then by all means, go. If you're like me, you're a little slower with the learning curve, Jesus, then obviously go at your own pace. This is not a race. This is not a marathon. This is your journey. Everyone walks their own path. Okay? Video number 26. Live directed sessions and sources. So I talked about this in the video very briefly. I'm going to talk again briefly about this. Ready? When you are having a live directed session, charge more. Why? That's what is asked in the industry standard. You're being asked to now put yourself on camera or put yourself in the presence of another human being so they can direct you. Is that normal? From what I know, which is, again, little, but yes, it is. It's normal. And it's up to you to set the rate for how much for live directed sessions. Me, I don't remember because I barely put in live directed session work. Sometimes the fees will be included in the the budget, or in, well, yeah, they'll say in the live directed fee in the budget of work. And you'll say, there, that job for you is done. But if not, it's up to you to figure that out. Revisions. What are revisions? If you send in your recording, so they say you got a job, you send the recording to a client, and they're like, we liked it, but near the end, you kind of fell off a little. Do you think you can just do that end part that lasts like maybe 2 lines just with the same energy from the rest? They say, okay, sure. It is good to do. I do 2 rounds of revisions for free. It's good that you do at least 1. If you can do 2, that's up to you. Don't do more than 3 because then you're going to be a bit of a pushover at that point. And if a client obviously is coming back, oh, this is not good, 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 then obviously the problem's not on you. It's on the client. Then you say, okay, you know what? Clearly I'm not doing something right. We're not seeing eye to eye. We're butting heads. Do you have something definitive you want me to do? And if not, I'm sorry, go with someone else. You need to be firm sometimes in these cases. Don't let these people walk over you. Have some self-respect. And that's a lot coming from me, someone who has very little self-esteem and confidence and self-respect. Always maintain a level of professionalism. No matter how comfortable you can get with people, if you're very like a shy person, or if you're just like Mr. like exuding confidence, like, yeah, don't worry, yeah, man, you want to go fishing with me and my buddy Tom? Yeah, cool. Always don't. Just, you're there to do a job, be professional, be awesome. And again, the 80-20 rule. 80% of your work comes from 20% of your clients. All right, there's some side notes. This is a big one I missed. Accounting. Why is accounting, I'm not talking accountability, I'm talking keeping your finances in check. Why? For tax season. This is not tax-free, okay? And this goes with my next note. Acting is completely different from a day job. There are many sacrifices that come with it, like your RSP or 401k, your health insurance, job security, tax coverage. There's no tax forms. How are you going to do it? What I was told is there's you can use PayPal. PayPal has their own ledger that keeps track of your stuff, or there's a website called QuickBooks that you just put in the information. Me, what I've been doing, Microsoft Excel. I have the job name, the day I started, the day I got the job, the day I started recording, the pay, when I got paid, and how much. That's all you need. Other notes. Red flags. There are a lot of red flags I talked about. Hold on, let me see if I can pull it up real quick. I have it. No. I think this is it. Okay. I'm going to read these. Here, some red flags. Requesting an audition as a WAV file, it should usually be an MP3. That's not really a red flag anymore. Like, for most standard is MP3 now, but WAV files some people still use, so that's okay. Requesting a full read. If someone asks you to do a full read of an audition and it's like 16 paragraphs, don't do it. I would audition for something, I think it was 2 days ago. It was like a 5-line paragraph, 5 sentences, 2 lines, 5 paragraphs, and then it kept going similar to that. I did the first paragraph plus like the next 3 lines, and I ended it there. Well, okay, other red flag. Requesting weird methods of payment. If it's not direct transfer, it's not e-transfer, it's not PayPal, or if it's not through the website, it's like the casting website itself, you need to make sure they are accountable and they will pay you. Email addresses that aren't tied to a reputable business or no secondhand contact. That's obviously, come on, man. Dealing with bad clients. Well, if a client right off the bat is dismissive, rude, aggressive, tread lightly. Just because they're like that doesn't mean they're bad people. Maybe they're just going through a rough patch, or maybe they're a thing. Good news about that, though, is bad clients don't stick around. Why? Because your fellow voice actors will be out there and be like, yeah, this guy is no. Or this lady's very up the ass with, you being a dick. It's like, wait, what? Bad behavior and a client, like I said, bad behavior and clients. Again, Maybe sometimes they're going through a bad spurt, bad thing. But if they keep that up, then that's just they are. Don't deal with it. They're illegal clients. I didn't go into context with that because that's all I got. Just because they hired you does not mean you are indebted to them. That's a big one right there. You got hired, but you also have the right to leave. Remember, this is not a 9-to-5 job. It's not like you're going to show up to the office tomorrow and be like, "Yes, sir, here to work." It's like, no. If they're doing something wrong, illegal, bad, rude, and you don't want to put up with it, you have your full, unequivocal right to do that. Okay? Think of yourself, your safety, above all else. You may fire clients because they no longer fit in your business model, or you may outgrow them, or they may outgrow you. Avoid putting a client, and this is a big one, avoid putting a client or any person, I don't care if it's a studio, never, ever, 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 publicly on social media or in person, blast them. That is not right. That's not fair. One-on-one with them. You talk to them. You're human. They're human. Talk to them. Okay. This one. Stress for the last time. Okay. Oh. This is the last time I'll be stressing about this. Never ever tie a voice to a character. Always play the character first and the voice comes second. I'm not going more into that. This is a big one. Kill your ego. Okay? That's the title of a book that is apparently very prevalent right now to this day. Kill your ego. I don't care if you think you're Mr. Hoity-toity big boy pants over here. No. You're human, they're human, everyone's human. Do your job. Do what is expected of you. Be professional, be awesome, be cool, and don't be a dick, don't be rude, don't be an ass. Be human. Rates, I already talked about rates. I don't have to talk about it. And I think this is nearing the end. Okay, getting into character. Video 27. I already stressed this before. Don't be afraid to really get into character. Squish your face, stupid face, silly, serious. Just do it. Don't be afraid. Who cares? Perspective is key. You need to know the perspective of your character or in which they're going to be talking. This is the line I said in my video about villains. No one is the villain in their own story. So what I said was a villain doesn't think they're a villain in their own way, but that was wrong or poorly worded. Was no one is the villain in their own story. That's better. Excuse me. Here's another thing that actually kind of like blew my pants off. No such thing as a bad impression, just a new character. I kind of looked at that in my own way of making that silly villain character. He sounds nothing like Skeletor, but he's something similar to it, and he can be kind of like that. Obviously, and this is for consistency's sake, I do this a lot now, is use a reference. It's good for keeping consistency. So whenever I try to do this, that thing, whenever I try to do silly villain, sometimes I forget because I just can't do it sometimes, but other times I can. And when I'm lost or stumbled, my reference or go-to phrase, word, or line is, "Now see here," and it helps me get into character. All right, agents. This is huge. Agents, I missed a plethora of stuff on it, and I do apologize. I think we're almost done, folks. We're almost done. This is the last page. Agents and demo reels. Video 28. Agents. They source opportunities between a voice actor and a buyer. Not a studio, not a production team. The buyer, whoever it is. Because remember, not every one of your clients will be a studio or a production team. Okay. This is for me. This is anyone out here who lives in Canada, like me. Do research on Canadian agencies. I know nothing. I don't even know anything about American agencies. What are agents? Agents are licensed, whereas governed managers aren't. Agents source, produce, procure, distribute, submit auditions into inception to pay. They don't be, "I will book for you," but rather already booking work. Would you like to book with you? I don't even know what that means, but I wrote it in. Remember this, in this case, I've said this a lot, you are a puzzle piece as a voice actor or an actor. In this case, for agents, is you're trying to help fulfill an agent's roster problems, or you're actively interested in the types of jobs they bring to you. There are two types of agents. Ready? There's coastal, which is all your big guys like New York, New York and Los Angeles, versus regional, smaller, unrestricted regions, like anywhere else in between that's not coastal. Where? And regional agents, I heard, bring a lot. They've probably helped shifted the balance of power in this endeavor.1next, show, promote, embellish your voice and career that aligns with an agent's business model. So if you want to say you're going for the talent agency, that's what it's called. They're big on casting for animation. So Looney Tunes, SpongeBob, Disney, all that jazz. And you go in and you say, "Hi, this is me. I want me to be part of you roster because this is what I can do." But make sure, obviously, you don't want to bring that to an agent that does promos and commercials, or that does anime dubbing, or that does video games. That doesn't make any sense. What are they going to do? There's so much work that needs to be done. That's why there's so many different agencies for so many different subgenres of work in voice acting, or even acting in general. All right. Should you get a meeting with an agent or agency, be be to the 9, to the 10s, to the 11s, to the 12s. Be as professional as you can ever be. You are like in any movie, TV show, you see a character like, "This meeting is stressing me out. I can't sleep. I can't eat. I can't drink. I'm just so nervous." You got to have that mentality when you're doing this, because you really need to wow the pants off these folks, because they're going to make sure they're going to return all the effort you put into that meeting. They're going to return that in the work they're going to help find for you, or they're going to fight for you. Okay. Getting agent, ready? Here's the nice thing about agents or agencies, ready? Getting an agent isn't easy, but nor is it necessary. Remember what I said in my class? My teacher, Joe Zija, he said he didn't have an agent till I think he was 3 years in, or even 5 years in. So, yeah, you don't have to worry about that early in your career. Now, moving on to demos. Remember, there's different types of demos. Commercial demos, ready? Few examples of 30-second spots. Promo demos. Many examples of 30-second spots. Your demo your demo is your business card. You need it to be good, professional, high grade, and you're going to be professional about it. So imagine you're going Wall Street, and you're like a lawyer or you're a stockbroker. "Hey, this is Jim Cummings. There you go." That's an actual voice actor. He's the voice of Winnie the Pooh. But imagine that. And he's like, "Yep, well, Mr. Jim Cummings, wow, you got a typo. You spelled Cummings with an O instead of a U. Like, come on, man." Or you put one, it's like, come on, man. You got to be professional with it. It's not an audition, but remember this. Your demo is not an audition, but treat it like it is one. A bad demo can be damaging. No demo is actually better than a bad demo. Why? Because, this is from my first class. Your demo needs to be your X factor. It needs an X factor. So let's say you're doing for video games. You have 10 characters lined up in about a minute and a half of recording for your reel. Your first character is, I'm not going to do anything because it's like the wowest of wow factors. Even like the person who helped create your demo, saying that's number one. There you go. Demos are good for agents. It's like a resume and backup auditions. It'll give clients comfort. And then, there's one more thing I missed on agents is for your agents or agency that represents you, be their champion. Be their number one guy. Be up there and be like, "Yep, you hired me for this reason. I'm going to kick some ass for you, buddy." All right, side notes. And then we're going to flip and we're going to done. This is such a long video. All right. Maintaining relationships. That is with your fellow voice actors, directors, casting directors, agents. I had more. Your clients. You never know what these clients could be up to in the future. They could be big, they could be small, they could be out of business, they could be opening a third chain of businesses that are somehow relating. Negotiating, I already talked about. That's a big skill set you need. Social media. You got to be careful with social media. It can't, remember this is what I learned, is social media does not get you jobs. It helps show. In some cases I heard from both my classes was sometimes there would be a voice actor and they didn't have a website, but they had social media. I almost showed my belly there. So they had social media where they were like, oh, look, here's his Instagram account. Oh, let's see, let's open. Oh, wow, look, he's got this. Oh, wow, he's got this. Oh, wow, he's got this. Okay, you know what? Let's give this guy an audition. Let's give him a chance. I liked his work he's posted on his social media. Let's give this guy a chance, or let's give this girl a chance. So they don't help get jobs, okay? Sorry, they help get jobs, but they don't get you the job. Just mind you, it's like a bonus for casting directors. It helps them help you. Next, I already talked about improv is very big, very important, and it's a must key skill that you should learn. If you're bad at it, don't worry about it. Just look up videos, if you want to take live lessons or improv classes, go for it. And this is something I do. This is a very big no-no that I kind of kills my my drive or my fire. Comparison. Do not compare yourself to the likes of Steve Bloom, or in this case, for my background, the lovely and talented Allegra Clark, who's done many, many works, or Alex Lee, who I've mentioned before, or Alejandro Saab, or Amelie. These are people that have put in the work years ago, and they've made it to where they want to be now. And if you put in that work just as much, if not more than them, you can be where they are. You just got to be patient, put in the time, and do not compare yourself to them. They bring something unique to the table, just as you bring something unique to the table. Bring yourself. That's it. You don't need to bring another version of them to them. They know who they are. They know what they can do. They know what they are, or they can be. Bring yourself. You need to know who you are. You need to know what you can bring, what you are. What more can you offer? Okay. Just because you didn't get, I said this before, just because you didn't get a part for one character doesn't mean you failed. Remember, I said this earlier, that if you've done a good audition, sometimes you get shortlisted, maybe a client will like you and save you for the future. Maybe like they're really short on times, like, wait, did I shortlist this guy Matthew Faber a month ago? Let's see. Yeah, I really liked him. Let's see. Let's send him a message saying, hey, man, we got this project. We liked you a while ago. Do you think you can just give this audition a try and see how it goes? Sure. And that's that. Ready? Flipping the page one last time, and there's very little on this. Video 29. Advocating for yourself, others, and the industry. Remember, I learned this in my first class. Healthy competition. You are not here to pull people down. You're here to just have some good old fun with trying to get that job. If you really wanted it, it's probably so did Jimbo over here. But don't be like, freak you, Jimbo. I wanted that, you bum licker. It's mine. He's going to be like, well, sorry you suck dick. Do not publicly shame any person, company, studio, or client ever online. Like I said, you do it one-on-one. You say, hey, man, I did not appreciate that. And if they are smart or go with it, they're like, oh my God, I'm sorry. I did not mean to do that. I'm so very, very sorry. And if they have another mindset, walk away. Just walk away. It's not worth damaging yourself or hurting another person or yourself. And that big old, this is the last point for this, and then I have some few extra notes, and very quick. You want to live rent-free in the mind of a client and or casting director. You want to do something that is so outside of the norm that it just lives rent-free in their head, and they go, I can't stop thinking about this person's demo, this actor. And the dogs are going nuts. Oh my God, shut up. And that's it for the videos. There's 2 points, but they go hand in hand. Do not quit your day job. Okay, I almost thought about doing this because, well, I'm not happy with my day job. I'm not saying where, for protection of myself. And the other thing, don't foolishly drop everything and move to New York or Los Angeles. Both those cities are extremely expensive to live in, very hard to get your acting career because there are thousands, if not millions, of people around the world that just are doing just that. Start right. Start here. Start somewhere where you are financially stable right now in your current lifestyle, and just make sure that you do the right thing and build your career slowly, step by step. And with that, there's one more thing I want to talk about because the notes are done. My throat is burning. I have to go take some tea or something. But I said at the beginning of this really, really, really long video, I'm sorry guys, I said it was going to be long, that I am going to be changing the formula of the videos. What? Well, you're just going to have to wait and see. Come the new year, the videos will still be coming out every 1 to 3 days, but it's going to be something different. It's not going to be in sequential order. And I hope you guys stick around and enjoy. And I promise they're not going to be really long like this. But until then, if you stuck around to the end, love you. Hope you learned everything that I've done wrongly or goodly. And you guys have a fantastic Saturday afternoon. Peace.